welcome back to the Gear Bunker. Today I'm going to take a quick look at something that I installed in the Tundra over the winter that I think is a key component to overlanding and off-roading in general. And it's a dual battery setup. Most vehicles obviously come with a single starter battery. The advantages to having a dual battery setup would be to isolate one battery to operate the starter for the vehicle while you use an accessory battery to run things like lights, fridge, CB, radio, lighting, other accessories and stuff like that. So you can draw off of one battery and not compromise your starter battery. So when it comes time to crank the vehicle over, you always have a well-charged battery to start the engine. So this is from Genesis Off-Road, and let's dig in and take a quick look. All right, so what you're looking at here is the driver's side front corner of the Toyota Tundra. And this is the original battery placement for this vehicle. So all the battery terminals naturally come up to here anyways. What Genesis Off-Road did was build a sturdy battery tray that can hold two batteries. And what I have here are two Group 25 Odyssey batteries. They're 850 cold cranking amps, dry cell AGM batteries. And they're mounted longitudinally. I've got one here and one here. So the Genesis Off-Road tray is nice. It mounts in into the battery compartment, the original battery compartment. You slide in both Odyssey batteries, and then this entire top bolts down with these 4 bolts here. And everything's pre-wired. The hookup couldn't have been any easier. Basically put the original positive and the original negative back on these two terminals, and then everything else is basically pre-wired. The nice thing about this is it has this isolator. So the isolator has some pretty cool features. Under normal operations, when both batteries are at 13.2 volts, the isolator has both batteries connected, so they're charging simultaneously. When you shut the vehicle off, both batteries should be fully charged from the alternator. If you're running accessories, I've got a refrigerator in the back. This S-Pod actually controls a lot of different things, different lights, refrigerator, accessory outlets that I plug lights into when we're camping. They will draw until the starter battery, which is this one right here, reaches 12.7 volts. Once it reaches 12.7 volts, the isolator controller tells the isolator to disconnect the two batteries from each other. So it retains the 12.7 volts in your starter battery. Then the accessories purely run off this accessory battery over here, and they will run off this battery until it's dead, leaving the starter battery with enough juice to start your vehicle when the time comes. Once you start the vehicle, the alternator will start charging the starter battery until it reaches 13.2 volts. Then it will isolate it and start charging the battery that you drained running accessories until it also reaches 13.2 volts. And then everything is back to normal operations from there. Another nice feature of the Genesis Off-Road dual battery tray is this boost button right here. If you find yourself with a low starter battery for some reason, you can push this button and it'll tell the isolator to connect both batteries together, giving you the most volts, amperage, and cold cranking amps possible as a combination of these two batteries, which should be enough to start the vehicle. Once the vehicle starts, it goes back to its conventional charging protocols. The reason I like the dual battery setup is because it just gives you peace of mind. Peace of mind when you're out camping, that if we set up base camp operations, that we can safely run camp lights, chargers, appliances, and stuff like that off the accessory battery, knowing that the driver's side battery or the starter battery will always be good when time comes to break camp and punch out of there. So let me show you a couple of things that we are running off of the accessory side. In the back of the vehicle, I have got probably one of the larger appliances that you could run off-road. So this is a battery, or I'm sorry, this is a refrigerator tray for a Dometic CFX 75. And I recently installed these 12-volt ports back here. So you can, this is basically running this refrigerator while we're underway, and that's running off the accessory battery. I also have another 12-volt battery, or I'm sorry, a 12-volt outlet back here that we run lights to, you know, the rooftop tent. We also have an awning that we'll put lights under, because that's usually where we set up our kitchen area, and anything else. So having the peace of mind of it running off the dual battery is really really nice. So my thoughts on overlanding and dual batteries. It's a nice luxury to have. Certainly not necessary. It's just another one of those things you can throw money at in this sport, which is pretty easy to do. I started off with, this is my work truck. I'm a general contractor, so this is my work truck. And then it, you know, I was kind of oversleeping on the ground. So we're like, let's get a rooftop tent. Okay, we need a rack to put the rooftop tent on. Might as well have max tracks mounted on there too. Those are parked over there right now. Tires, awning, road shower, all that good stuff. It spirals out of control so quickly sometimes. Like here's the refrigerator with a nice roll of toilet paper on there. Here's the Dometic refrigerator that we use now, and it is it's a sweet piece of kit. They're a nice luxury. I mean, we also have coolers that we could use, but having the fridge is pretty nice. It's pretty nice luxury, having everything cold, not all the ice. And then here's a late night purchase that got out of control pretty quickly. Here's let me see, probably about $4,000 worth of suspension for a vehicle that already has a pretty nice suspension. But that's just what happens when you're up late on the internet browsing around and you're like, oh yeah, I could use that. I could use the Icon suspension. That'll be a whole nother video when that gets put in. Oh yeah, and then, you know, onboard air compressor from ARB. That was a nice extra. Gives us the ability to air up and air down the tires. Obviously the dual battery setup that we just talked about, the S-Pod, which gives us six new switches inside the Tundra to operate lighting and all that stuff. So although things can spiral out of control, truth is all you need is probably a 4-wheel drive truck, decent ground clearance, a tent, sleeping bag, food, a cooler, and then you can get out and explore. Don't be like me and get out of control. But if you do, it is pretty fun. It's a good way to get outside and enjoy the outdoors with the family. I've got 2 kids and a wife, and we all kind of like getting out there. Being comfortable isn't a terrible thing. I was plenty uncomfortable when I was in the military. It's just nice to kind of go out and see the cool places around Michigan, and then we've got a trip planned out to Utah and Colorado this summer. I think in August we're going to go out for 2, maybe 3 weeks if we have time, and kind of explore that area. So stay tuned to the Gear Bunker. Make sure you check out the website occasionally. We've got new articles going up every day. The YouTube channel, subscribe to it, like it, follow it, share, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Help us out. Spread the word. The Gear Bunker's here, and we're going to be having cool shit reviewed daily. So see you on the trail.